Welcome to Behind the Veil. Now, here is your transformational coach, Tammy Hawk.
I know that first and foremost, I like to start these sessions with intention.
Okay.
But before that, just so you know, your screen is not going to show. So you don't have to worry about that. And I'm not going to use your name. We'll keep this completely anonymous.
Okay.
So my intention is to get you as much clarity and as much transformation as possible in this short period of time that we have together.
Okay.
And if I could give you one thing that could make the biggest difference for you right now, what would that one thing be?
I guess my biggest thing would be how to work on communication, especially in a long distance relationship.
Right. Yeah. So let's dive into that. The long distance relationship part.
Okay.
So for the listeners, I want you to break down what your relationship looks like.
So as of October of this past year, so October 2024, my husband and I live in separate states. He lives in Arizona and I live in Texas.
Mm-hmm. And you've been together?
3 years.
You've been together 3 years.
Yes.
Okay. And how is it living separately?
It's been tough. We've managed to be able to see each other once a month so far, but I'm not sure what the next 6 months look like as far as seeing each other once a month.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So how did you guys end up? By the way, this is very random, but there are so many people that I'm meeting nowadays who live in a different state as their spouse. It's a very odd thing, but I've met so many recently that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a thing now. Okay, so what led to you guys living in completely different states?
So when we met, he lived in Arizona. I lived in Texas. We met online. He has children from a previous marriage. I have children from a previous marriage. So within, I want to say 6 months of us meeting, I moved out to Arizona to be with him. But just the stress and the distance from my own children, because my children stayed in Texas with their father,
Mm-hmm.
we made the decision that it would be best for me to move back to Texas to
Mm-hmm.
be with my kids more.
Mm-hmm.
And he stayed in Arizona to be with his kids.
Right. That makes sense. I could totally see that. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's unpack the relationship. When you guys separated into different states, what did the relationship look like?
Before or after we separated?
When you lived in Arizona?
It was pretty good. I'd say the first year, but then I guess there was a lot of fighting because of the difference in parenting style, and then me wanting to be with my kids more, I guess gave like, I wouldn't say I resented him for having his kids, but I missed being with my kids. And I think that caused some of the fights between us.
Mm-hmm.
So over the last, because this January would have been me living there for 3 years. So I lived there for 2.5 years. So I guess after the first year, that second year and a half was more of us fighting than it was when I first moved out there.
And what part of, I'll totally cut it out, but what part of Arizona? Because I'm in Arizona.
I was the Phoenix area. Surprise.
Okay. And I live in Queen Creek.
Oh, okay. I know where that is.
Uh-huh. Okay. So as a mom, I could totally see how complicated this relationship is. It's complicated on so many different
Yeah.
levels, right? And probably you had no idea just how complex it was going to be when you entered into it, did you?
No, not at all.
Right. Okay, let's get into the layers of that because I would love for you to give me a little list of what similarities he has to your ex, the father of your kids? If there,
Complete opposites. Complete opposites.
yeah, can you explain that a little bit?
So I feel like my my ex was more money driven. Like he was all about how much money can I make? How much money can we make as a family? Whereas um, my current husband's more family oriented. So where he wants that money, but he looks more at I want to spend time with my family than have to sit there and work 80 hours a week to make money. Like my husband now is more of as long as we have enough money to make ends meet and to live comfortably, then he was okay with that. Whereas my ex-husband's more, I don't care how many hours I have to put in. I want to make the most amount of money I can make.
Hmm. Okay. And so you've decided indefinitely from that experience with your ex that that was not the kind of man that you wanted a man that was interested in other things than just money and making more
Correct.
and more of it. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
So on paper, you would say your current husband is what you want, aside from the very complicated and complex nature of your guys's.
Yes, I would say absolutely 100%. He's completes me on paper. It's just the dynamics of our relationship is just so complicated. It makes it hard.
Yeah. When you're blending together two families, even if you live in the same city, it is extremely complicated. So I can only imagine when you add the components of the long distance part,
Yes.
just how layered this cake gets to be. Okay. When you look into the future, like say 6 months, do you guys talk about a resolution, a path forward? And I think I should ask you this first. What are the ages of these kids?
Um, so his youngest son is just turned 8 today. My youngest daughter turns 8 on Monday. So we have two that are the same age. His oldest daughter is 9. She'll be 10 in August. My oldest son is just turned 13 this past November. And then my husband has a stepdaughter from his previous marriage who he has parental rights to that just turned 14 in December.
Wow.
So I think it's 14, 13, 9, and 2 8-year olds. So yes.
Yeah. So the youngest being 8. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So then the second question, is there any way forward? Does it like what do you guys talk about in terms of the future?
Um, so far we've just been kind of looking at it 1 month at a time on when we can see each other. Like we both work in the school district, so we have holidays off, we have summers off. So right now we're really just looking at like we in October we're like, okay, Thanksgiving, I'll go to Arizona for Thanksgiving. And then Christmas, I my children and I went to Arizona for Christmas break. My husband and I 2 weekends ago both met in the middle in El Paso to see each other. And then now we're like looking at in March, we have spring break off together. So we'll spend spring break together. And then we're trying to figure out the summer months and how we can figure that out and seeing each other.
Okay, got it. Okay, and what was the question I was just about to ask?
Sorry.
It just flew right out of my mind. As far as like long-term future,
We haven't really talked about long-term future past just this year alone.
I see. Is that, and why is that?
Because I guess we're just not really sure how to navigate that.
Okay. So what issues come up with this with you guys living in separate states? What issues come up for you?
Right now, we really haven't had as many issues being in separate states because it's more of just not having enough time together, just not seeing each other as much as we've been used to for the past 2.5 years. So we've actually fought less
Oh, really?
living separately.
So do you see this as like it you could maybe carry this out for the next,
11, 10 years.
yeah.
Um, I think it's hard just because we don't get enough time together, but I almost feel like when we do have that time together, it's more special. So, yes and no, because there's days where it is hard.
So what for you, what's coming up?
What do you mean?
Like your
Sorry.
emotions, what are the emotions coming from? What's hard about living apart? That's what I'm trying to get to.
I guess just that, I when it is good when we were together, it was really great.
Hmm.
So I just miss being with him.
You miss being with him. And so, but the solution for you, you still have this like, does it feel a little like you're being pulled in two different directions?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Tap into a little bit of that for me for a second. Talk to me about the being pulled in two different directions
So
emotionally.
even like when I was living in Arizona, when we would have my kids, which was anytime they weren't in school. So I had them every spring break. I had them for, um, it was 6 weeks in the summer. And then I would have them for either Thanksgiving break or Christmas break. If I didn't have them for Thanksgiving, I'd have them for Christmas break. If I had them for Thanksgiving, I'd have them for a week during Christmas break because they have 2 weeks off. But even then, it was a struggle because I wanted to give my children 100% of my time. And my husband felt like he was being left out because he wasn't getting all of me. He was only getting maybe 50% of me when he was used to having me 100% of the time.
Hmm.
So it was almost like a who do I give more attention to?
Hmm.
And I feel like that was one of our biggest fights when I was in Arizona.
How long have you felt that energy? I want you to take it back to the earliest memory you have of your attention being pulled in two different directions.
I'd say from the very first summer that my kids came out to Arizona to spend the summer with us.
Hmm. Okay. Interesting. Well, here's what I know. Everything that we experience in our life, it all goes back to the beliefs that we hold in our subconscious mind, and it all goes back to the first 5 years of our life. So do me a favor and make your spine straight and get in a comfortable position. And I
Okay.
will start you out by saying this. This process is working with your subconscious mind. So if your conscious mind comes in and tries to like fight you on it and be like, what is this? I don't get it. Just kind of like tag that. Okay, this is my mind, and kind of quiet it down because it's going to feel a little bit like a meditation,
Okay.
this process. But I really want to get to the bottom of where this pattern stems from. Okay.
Okay.
So just relax into it, go with it. And just my only invitation is stay nice and open. So
Okay.
relax your body, take a deep breath in, close your eyes, and I want you to become aware of your breath. And with each inhale, I want you to imagine breathing in love. And as you exhale, leaving and exiting resistance. So just imagine just pushing out all the resistance, breathing in love, releasing resistance. That's right. With each breath that you take and each beat of your heart, relaxing into your body, relaxing each muscle, just allowing each thought to sort of be released and let go. And I want you to become aware that above your head, directly above your head, is a big energy bubble, a healing, beautiful, relaxing energy bubble. And first impression, I want you to give this energy bubble a color that feels good to you, that feels relaxing and healing to you. What color would that be?
Pink.
Pink. Perfect. So I want you to become aware of this pink energy bubble. And it's about an inch from the top of your head. And I want you to imagine that the tippy top of your head is a moonroof, and that moonroof is opening up to receiving this pink healing energy. So open it up, and I want you to allow this pink energy to move down, down, down through the top of your scalp. That's right. And I want you to allow it, as it moves down through your body, I want you to allow it to go at even deeper layer on a cellular level. So I'm going to have you fill both right and left hemispheres of your brain with this beautiful healing pink energy, moving down, filling your eyes, your ears, your nose, your jaw, your mouth, filling your entire head with this pink healing energy. That's right. I want you to see each and every one of your cells opening up to receiving this healing energy as it moves down your neck and your throat and your shoulders, moving down your arms to your elbows and your wrists and your fingers. And I want you to allow it to open up your heart, filling your entire chest, your entire heart with this beautiful pink healing energy. That's right, allowing it to go deeper and deeper, moving it down to your stomach, penetrating each and every organ, muscle, tissue, DNA, RNA, all the way down to your epigenetics, opening up each cell to receiving this pink healing energy as it moves down your hips to your knees, to your ankles, filling your toes. That's right. I want you to take a deep breath in, and I want you to exhale this pink energy out to creating a big ball around your body. That's right. An egg-shaped energy ball completely absorbing your body. That's right. Allowing it to go even deeper. And as long as you are connected to this pink energy bubble, you're safe and you're held in this beautiful healing bubble. And I want you to turn your intention into your body, within your body. And I want you to remember back to our conversation. We were talking about how you felt pulled in two directions. And I want you to tune your body to that emotional feeling of being tugged between two things that you absolutely love. And I want you to recognize that there is a place in your body where these emotions stem from originally. First impression, I want you to take your hand and place it on that area. What color is it, first impression?
I'd say red.
It's red. Okay. Beautiful. I want you to tune into that red. I want you to actually move inside of it, move into the very center of it. And as you do, I want you to become aware and see that it's actually projecting out from your chest, that red color. And as it's projecting out from your chest, from your body, recognize that there is a screen that it's being projected from this red. And on that screen, I want you to allow that screen to get very, very clear, because on this screen is the very first time, very first memory that you felt these emotions. It's the very first memory. It might be a picture, it might be a series of pictures, but I want you to allow it to get clear, and let me know when you can identify this memory or series of pictures.
It's whenever I was younger.
Perfect. First impression, how old are you?
I'd say 7.
You're 7. And are you alone or with someone else?
With someone else.
And who are you with?
My mother.
And what's happening in this image?
My parents are fighting.
What are your parents fighting about?
I don't know what they're fighting about, but my mother's telling me to tell my father she's not talking to him. And my father's telling me to tell my mother whatever he was wanting me to tell her.
I want you to see and tune to your 7-year-old self in this image. And I want you to actually move into her red energy bubble. That's right. I want you to see that red energy around her. And I want you to move into it. And I want you to actually feel her emotions. I want you to feel what she's experiencing right here in this memory, in this emotion. What is she feeling?
Sad.
What is she sad about?
Having to be put in the middle between my parents.
What else is she feeling in this moment?
Lonely. Scared.
What is she scared about?
Them fighting.
What about them fighting scares her?
Having to choose one of them over the other, and then the other being mad.
And how does it feel when they're mad? What does she believe about that?
That they're mad at her.
Mm-hmm.
That she did something wrong.
She believes she did something wrong.
Yes.
What else is she believing about herself in this moment?
That they don't care about her.
Mm-hmm. What else?
That they don't love her because they're mad at her.
Mm-hmm. She believes they don't love her.
Yes.
What else is she believing about herself in this moment?
That she doesn't deserve their love.
She doesn't believe she deserves their love.
Yes.
Why doesn't she believe she deserves their love?
Because I did something to make them mad at me.
What did she do to make them mad at her?
I chose either my mother or my father over the other one.
And what is she believing about herself because of that?
She's a bad kid.
She's a bad kid.
Yeah.
What else is she believing about herself?
Just that if they don't love her, that no one else will.
What else is she believing about herself in this moment?
That she just doesn't do anything right.
She doesn't believe she does anything right.
Yes.
What else is she believing about herself in this moment?
I'm not sure.
What is she believing about life in this moment?
Is that life is hard and that she just doesn't know what to do.
Anything else she's believing about life in this moment?
No.
I want you to scoop her up in your arms, and I want you to look deep in her eyes. And I want you to connect with her on the deepest level, recognizing that this little girl's pain is still within her, and this little girl is still within you. And all this pain is trapped. And I want you to let her know that you've come all the way back from the future to be with her and to feel this emotion for her. I want you to let her know that you have come back to be her hero and to feel this emotion for her. I want you to connect on the deepest level. And I want you to tell her that she didn't do anything wrong, that there is nothing wrong with her, that she's not a bad kid, that all of her parents' pain, they plopped on her lap unknowingly. They didn't mean to, but it all got placed on her lap, all the responsibility. And it was not right. And it was not her burden. I want you to tell her that she's so cared for and so loved, and that she is the most important person to you. And that's why you came all the way back for her, because that's how special she is. What else does she need to hear from you in this moment?
That everything will be okay.
What else?
That she can be strong.
Can you tell her that she's lovable?
Yes.
That that this situation has nothing to do with how lovable she is, because she is perfect and divine exactly how she is. What does she need from you right now?
To feel loved.
I want you to scoop her up in your arms, and I want you to bring her over to her parents. And I want you to speak on behalf of her to her parents, everything that she needs to say, everything she needs to get out. I want you to let them know what she's going through and what their behavior is doing to her. Act like they're standing right in front of you, and I want you to speak to them just like that. Out loud, I want you to tell them. I want you to tell them everything that's going on with her and what she needs to get off her chest.
She needs you to stop putting her in between the two of you. She needs you to stop fighting, using her. She needs you to just love her for who she is.
Mm-hmm.
And she needs you to show that love
Tell them how they can show her that love.
by not using her as your tool to hurt the other parent.
Mm-hmm.
She's not your weapon to fight with.
Mm-hmm. Are they hearing what she's saying, what you're saying?
Yes,
Are they getting the message?
yes,
And do they have a message back to you?
that they do love her and they're sorry.
Mm-hmm. And is that 7-year-old you, she's believing them?
Yes.
Beautiful. Is there any other wisdom, any other advice you can give her for her future?
That she will make it and she will be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And she won't do the same thing to her children.
Beautiful. And what's the look like on her face? How is she feeling now?
Happier.
Happy?
Yes.
I want you to give her your pink energy bubble. And I want you to tell her that this is her gift from you. That anytime she needs to feel safe, anytime she needs to feel loved, anytime she needs to feel protected, that all she has to do is connect with this pink energy bubble and she'll feel all those things. I also want you to tell her that whenever she needs you, that she can call on you. Can she?
Yes.
And will you come back and be here with her to give her whatever she needs from you? If you would like to be featured as a guest on our podcast, where you can share your experiences anonymously and receive the support you need, you can apply by clicking on the link in the description. Now back to the podcast.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. I want you to come up with a code, a sign, a signal of some sort that she can let you know that she needs you. You got that?
Yes.
What is it? What is it?
Code pink.
Oh, beautiful. Love that. Love that. I want you to connect to that big smile on her face. See her in her radiance. And I want you to shrink her down to the size of a postage stamp or smaller. And I want you to reach out and I want you to place her inside of your heart, knowing that the two of you are always connected. I want you to tangibly grab her and place her in your heart. Yes. Take a deep breath in. And as you do, I want you to just sync up with all those new codes that you just created from this process, recognizing that as you change the emotional state, you're actually changing history. You're releasing the old, which means it's no longer relevant, and it dissolves, resolves quickly, immediately. Take another deep breath in. Exhale out. Wiggle your fingers and toes, energizing your body, feeling energized in each and every cell. And you can bat your eyes open when you're ready. How do you feel?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just released a lot of old stuck stuff, girl. Proud of you.
Thank you.
Any new information you got from that process?
I definitely feel lighter and happier.
Good.
Yeah.
That's usually the first report I get, lighter. So I'm sure you made the connection that when I had you tune in to the emotions you feel of this pulled between your kids and your husband, I had you reflect out from that emotional state. And where did it take you?
Back to when I was younger.
Yeah, 7. 7 is when that started. And the reason why this process that I created works so well is because who you are today is because of that little girl that lives in you. And if that little girl has pain that she hasn't felt all the way, that she has not allowed herself to emote emotions, energy and motions, she hasn't emoted it, therefore it's still inside of her being you. And so as long as she has that built up, she's going to keep holding these beliefs that she's being pulled.
Right.
Because it was created at age 7. And usually when I work with my clients, because I work with them over 12 weeks, we find that it actually happens sooner. And I had a client just the other day, and she found that hers went back to her grandmother on her dad's side. So, because in our DNA, all of our beliefs are stored in our DNA. On the moment you were conceived, all of your parents' trauma and drama got placed on your lap, everything they didn't deal with. So here you are. And if we followed that pain back, it probably would go back to one of your parents.
Right.
So hopefully you're seeing that this theme was, as soon as you get to see the theme, then you have that we shine the flashlight on that dark spot, and now you're like, hopefully you're having that aha of like, no wonder I'm still
Yeah.
feeling like I did when I was 7, pulled, right?
Right. Absolutely.
So you get to change the narrative. You if you were my client, the advice I'd give you is you got to stop trying to please everyone else. You have to literally take everyone else's voice and go on all the way down to mute. And then you got to take your inner voice and turn it all the way up and listen to her only, because you will not be able to pretzel yourself into you could do into the most disruptive position, and you still will not please all of them.
Right.
This person wants you to be this, like even amongst your kids, I have 3 kids. Even from child to child, they want you to be different. And the more you give them, the more they want. So you will never be able to please them all. Hate to break it to you. You'll never be able to please them all. However, you didn't come here to please them all. You came here for your own selfish reasons, for a purpose. Just like each one of your kids, just like your husband, they all came here for their own unique purpose. So my greatest advice to you is you get to follow your own path, your guidance system and your intuition, and you get to shut out all the other voices. You would just be so surprised at how dumbfounded they are by that question.
It's a hard question to answer.
Well, yeah, because we've been programmed to please everyone else,
Right.
And so homework you could give yourself is coming up with that list of like asking yourself on a daily basis, what do I want? What do I want in my marriage? What do I want in my relationship with my kids? Where do I want to live? What are the emotions I want to experience on a daily basis? Because you could create a really, living apart from your husband does not have to be the worst thing ever. It could be a really beautiful thing, but it might not be what you want. And I
Right.
can't tell you what you want, but if you could start to unfold you and really get curious about who you are, what you came here for, what you really, really want, and get to the core of that, it will set you up for a really delicious unfolding. And if you're not attached to things staying the same, because they never will, things will never, ever stay the same. They're constantly evolving, constantly changing. So if you could surrender into that flow that they will always change, but be open to the wonderful things that want to come into your life, then you could just go with the flow
Right.
instead
Much
of
happier.
resisting and seeing yourself in like the tug of war as the rope. That sounds very uncomfortable, darling.
It does. It's very awful.
Yes. Any big takeaways?
Just digging deeper to figure out what I want and being selfish and not letting anyone else's wants matter when it comes to my own.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. I love that.
Thank
I would love to see you live that out.
you. Me too.
Um, if you wanted to take any additional steps, you could reach out to me anytime. I would love it if you could leave me a review. Send me a review after you've kind of unpacked what we went through today.
Okay.
And yeah, I was so honored to go through. You were very open. I so appreciate your openness because that's what makes this so beautiful is when you let yourself feel the emotions. That's what makes it transformational. So
Yes, thank you so much. I've enjoyed it.
thank you. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Well, let's keep in touch, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, darling. Have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
Bye.
Bye.